got the one and only Coach Carl Reed joining us. He on limited time today, but we're gonna definitely get him in on this beautiful Monday morning, get his thoughts on some things. Y'all know I'm repping the STL, straight out of St. Louis. Our main man, Coach Carl Reed, one half of the big boys, joining us on the morning run. Coach Carl Reed live. What it do, baby?
What's up, man?
Oh, no, Coach.
Every time I'm back here in the back waiting on y'all, I hear something crazy. Did I hear something about Dukes being at a Chris Brown concert with his shirt off?
See how things
That's
are
what
taken out
Chico
of
wanted
context?
to talk about.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Coach Reed don't believe that stuff, man. Coach Reed,
Man,
I
Chico,
don't believe that about Dukes.
man, Chico literally asked me. He said, "Deuce, what stood out to you from this weekend?" I said, "James Franklin getting fired. That stood out." He said, "But wasn't Chris Brown in Atlanta doing a concert this weekend?" I'm like, Chico, come on, dog, for real. Like,
it could have been as simple. Yeah, he was here. A lot of people went. Oh, no, I don't know anything about that. Oh, okay, cool. That's all.
But the fact that you suggested that maybe that would be big news to him.
Coach Carl Reed, how you doing, man? One half of the big boys. You checking in from the STL.
What's
How
up,
you doing, man? A lot of eventful things went on this weekend, man. Let's talk about some of the ones that stood out. Dukes just said James Franklin firing. Of course, Trent Difford getting fired. What are some of the things that stood out to you? And if those are the things, you can go there.
Those are the same things. James Franklin being fired a year after being in the Final Four of the playoffs, coming off 11 wins, 13 wins, 10 wins, right? But when you lose to Northwestern, when you lose to UCLA, who hadn't won at the time, I mean, those are two tough losses to overcome. But you really don't like a guy when you give him $50 million to walk out the door. When you're willing to pay somebody $50 million and tell them to leave, you showing how you really feel about it. But college football is an unforgiving game. You're only as good as your last run. We see what's happening where Florida State is trending with Mike Norvell. He was undefeated 2 years ago, had a terrible year last year. Like, you have got to stay in rhythm. And because of the way the transfer portal works now, there's no guarantee you're gonna have a good team from year to year. You got to rebuild that core every single year, and you can never rest. If you rest, you see what happens.
Yes, sir. I love that, Coach. I'm going to go a little deeper on that if you don't mind. 2026 opening so far. We're midway 2025. Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Penn State, Stanford, Virginia Tech, UAB, UCLA. Jobs are already open, and we haven't gotten to that proverbial Black Monday yet at the end of the season. When you look at the lay of the land, man, and are boosters being realistic, or it just is what it is? Because, like you said, to pay $50 million to a guy that's been there 12 years to get out, and you got all these other openings, who are you even looking to replace him with that could do what he didn't already do?
Yeah, no, they never realistic. Everybody wants to win, and everybody is trying to find that secret formula, that secret sauce. But you're getting to the point that with all of these openings, what coaches are you even going to be able to get to put in them? We're going to have more openings than you have quality coaches to fill them, right?
Exactly.
So most of the guys that are hiring also don't really understand the profile of the coach they should be looking for their school. You got a lot of non-football people making football decisions. That's why you have a tremendous disconnect. When you look at what Indiana has done with Kirk Cignetti, he didn't necessarily light the world on fire in the press conference. I don't think that everybody was overly excited, but you're talking about a guy that's won everywhere he's been, and he's been a winner. And look at what's happening with Indiana now. You have to find the right fit, the right coach for your school and your program, and not worry about winning press conferences.
Mm.
He doing his thing up there in Indiana, dog.
No,
Big
for
win.
sure. Seeing his story was cool too. Like, he left Alabama in 2011 to go to IUPUI. He said he took like a $200,000 pay cut to go take that job, and look what he's done.
He better. That's the betting on yourself. And a lot of coaches are not willing to do that. He believed that the way he wanted to run a program worked. He had been passed over a couple of times at Bama to be the OC. He thought he was prepared for that. Nick Saban went in some other directions. He bet on himself, and it's worked out for him. Now, obviously, Penn State wants him, right? And you got like any big time job that opens, is going to want him. But if I was him, it would be hard to get me to leave Indiana.
Mm.
I feel you on that, Coach. I want to talk about that ripple effect because you touched on something about the number of openings versus the number of qualified coaches to fill them. And then even if you fill them, it creates a vacancy there too. Like if Signetti were to leave Indiana, now Indiana's looking for somebody. So these dominoes, continue to fall in that regard. When you just look at, the lay of the land as it is right now and going forward, does this present to you an opportunity for some of those higher profile, national known brands, high school coaches to start moving up into college ranks? Because one of the things you hear in college football across the board is dealing with these new kids, dealing with these new personalities and the way they can or can't be coached. Do some of these vacancies, opportunities present an opportunity for even high school guys to now move up to college?
Potentially the most elite ones. It's definitely an opportunity for some of them to start their career as assistants because you need that type of influence in the building when you're dealing with some of these guys. But you're going to be hard pressed to get certain ADs to hire a coach straight out the high school ranks. They just feel like it's too big of a disconnect. There's probably a couple guys who could handle that transition, but I wouldn't say it's a ton of them. But I do think that it's going to open up the opportunity for some creative solutions because when you get down into this candidate pool, it's going to be really, really tough to find guys to fill some of these jobs.
All right, Coach, I'm going to hit you with a curveball now. I'm going to put that slide on you. It's going to look like it's coming at your head, but it's going to drop right before it gets there, so don't back off the plate. I'm going to run the list down to you again because I love your opinion, brother. I respect your in-depth knowledge. 2026 again, opening so far. Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Penn State, Stanford, Virginia Tech, UAB, UCLA. If it was up to Carl Reed, which one would he take?
Whew. If it was up to me, the job that I would look at first on that list would have to be Penn State. You got tradition, you got history, and you got great recruiting resources in the state of Pennsylvania and Ohio. There's great high school football that comes out of that area. Now they're going to expect you to win championships. So you saw what happened to the man who won but didn't win enough. So you gotta have the know to know that they coming in there and they want you to win a national championship.
Hey, dog, you could fire me for way less than $49 million. So I take that risk.
Man, listen, I was saying James Franklin ran to get the pen to sign off. Where? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, a few years ago, Coach Carr, you remember when Coach O down at LSU, when they hit him with his package, he said, "Which door you want me to leave out of?"
I think now too. I think James Franklin, the coach again. I think he'll be coaching somewhere next season. It's gonna be right now. He becomes a viable candidate. Like it's a bunch of programs who would like to beat everybody except Ohio State and Michigan.
Right.
There's a bunch of programs. There's way more programs in the country who would take what he did at Penn State than their coaches who would.
That's right.
What he did is only not good enough for maybe 4 or 5 programs. It's good enough for everybody else. So
definitely good enough for an Arkansas or a UAB, I think.
Yeah, so I think that he won't have to drop.
Get UAB out your head. That man ain't dropping from
Penn State. He ain't gonna drop to no UAB. But
I didn't say he was. I just said it would be good enough for.
You need to go back to the Chris Brown concert with that. You shouldn't even mention their name in that circle.
I heard you paid $11,000. Anyway, what
for exclusive photo?
Coach Carl, sorry, Coach. Sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
I hope that's not true.
Well, you stupid boy.
I hope that's not true.
Coach, I know you got to run in a sec before we pivot to your exit. Colorado, Iowa State came to town, ranked 22. First time Colorado Buffs have beat a ranked opponent at home since 2019 when they beat Nebraska. And, of course, Coach Prime second. He upset TCU in year 1. What are your takeaways from that victory and turning this ship to get some more wins and get bowl eligible this year?
Salter's getting better and better week by week.
Yes,
Coach Prime is spending a lot of time with him, getting him up and ready to go. It's like when you lose Shador, right? Everybody wants a guy that's similar when you had that kind of leadership. But he can't be like Shador because he wasn't raised in Coach Prime house. Shador been getting that, from day one, that type of leadership, that type of direction, that type of coaching. He met Salter 6-8 months ago, right? So it takes time to get it together. But if you look at the coverage, if you look at all the coverage from the Pregame network, from Well Off Media, you see the interactions during the game. You see Coach Prime speaking confidence in life into Caden Salter. You understand now that they're starting to click. They're starting to get it going. Caden Salter is starting to understand the kind of man Coach Prime is and what his demands and expectations are. And Coach Prime is starting to understand how to reach into Caden Salter and pull the best out of him. And it's beautiful seeing that come together against a top 25 team and getting the win at home for Colorado.
Greatly said right there, especially when you heard the comments that Caden Salter spoke to Uncle Neely about his relationship with Coach Prime and how Coach Prime stepped to him and told him, hey, man, I'm riding with you. And I gave him that confidence also. And Uncle Neely had an interesting clip also where the guy stood up in front of the team and told Coach Prime and everybody else, hey, man, I played like this, and here's what I'm going to do to get better. So I think that held those guys accountable and kept it fresh on their mind.
Hey, do us a favor, Chico. Pull it up. It's at the top of that video, so I got you ain't got to find it. And let's get Carl's reaction on it before we dip out.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
I know you can do it, man. You're the super producer back there.
Yeah.
You mentioned this though. You didn't want to tease it, then didn't play it. Coach, while we find that clip.
All you is.
Man, look, you're an expert back there. Look, we got
That's
five.
right.
You are Manny. Which one you want? Which one? Somebody got to go. Coach, across college football, when you look at upsets these past couple of weekends, are you anticipating any other coaches out there that may be gone before the end of the season, or are we done?
It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be some gone by the time you come back on TV next Monday.
Man.
This is a critical weekend for certain guys, but they know what they signed up for. This is a big boys business, and it's played by big boy rules. When you take over certain programs, what those programs' expectations are, and if you're not meeting them.
Well, Coach often said, man, when he was here at Jackson State and had the dominance, that you either get elevated or terminated as a coach. And when you're at that level that Franklin was at Penn State, I don't know how much more elevation out there was other than shifting to another school on that stratosphere. But, some of these guys are at their peaks and there's nowhere to go but down.
Hey, that come with it too. Hey, listen, you better win and you better keep winning and you better find a way to win some more or they're going to show you the door.
Y'all mentioned Indiana's coach. Now they're in the top 10 right now, top 5 actually. Top three. Would he leave from Indiana to go to Penn State? Would that be more attractive? Would that be
I don't think the timing is going to allow it. I think his team is going to be in the middle of the run, and because of the playoff push they're making in the season they having, I don't think it's going to allow him to be able to change jobs.
All right. Let's switch back. Go to Case Salter right quick and hear his comments.
Thoughts on this, Coach Reed?
That's right.
Man, it felt amazing. Good statement when, long season we ain't been doing too good, but we picking it up. We're going to keep taking it step by step, day by day, play at a time. Just keep on practicing and executing, and this is how it feels after every game for the rest of the season.
This week in the team meeting, you stood up and said, hey, I played like shit. That won't happen again.
Last week.
Most definitely, last week wasn't my best week, but that's what comes with the game. Sometimes you on, sometimes you off. You just got to continue to play the next play, and I feel like I'm great at having a play the next play mentality. Whether I'm doing something bad or I do something good, I forget about it, I flush it, and I play the next play.
And it's got to feel good to have your teammates trust and your head coach trust.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Coach Rob told me after the little situation where I didn't play that game that he was going to trust me no matter what I did out there. And I believe in him and he believed in me to go out there and do what I got to do for us to win.
Go get with your teammates, dog.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Hold on. That's right.
That's showing leadership, and most importantly, is showing that he overcame adversity. He was called out. He's been called out. He's been challenged. He's been criticized. The spotlight is on him, and they comparing him to what has happened before him. And for him to have the mental toughness and the accountability, right, to keep forging ahead. I think that says something special about him, and I think that's going to carry him into his adult life.
Yes, sir. Coach, we know you got to run. We appreciate you sticking around for that clip. Y'all know where to find him. Coach Reed Live on all social media. Y'all keep up with my dog, man, repping this STL. We appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach. Yes, indeed, man. I like that. That accountability, that resilience, to bounce back. People were asking questions all after the game, with the post game and stuff like that. Well, y'all hear it from K Salter's mouth right there, man. What he said about Coach Prime. They're on the same page. And he knows
I love how you classified the Dukes ATL style, little situation we had.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was.
Look, you know what I mean?
Just a sit up,
Yeah.
Had to work out that money on
whoop it do.
Yeah. Little what a name with a little whoop do.
Yeah, it wasn't much to it. Just a little sit up, They had your boy locked down for a minute, but I'm back.
Runners! We out.